Alright, vinyl spinners, the Vinyl Crow is back, and I'm doing a shootout of Stone Temple Pilots' debut album that is amazing all the way through. Core, I think, still my favorite from them. Might be a common thing, but it's amazing. That's one I always put on. So, the two albums I am going to do here, these are the two I own. So if I'm missing any other pressings, it's because I don't have them, I haven't heard them, and I'm excluding digital, CD, Spotify, all that. Strictly vinyl. So I have the 2020 release done by Chris Bellman. He cut the lacquers, and this was pressed at Optimal. There is variants of this. There's the splatter, that's the similar style as this part here of the album. There's the standard black, which is this one. And I believe is a solid red, just a solid sort of this red or maybe a marble. There's a couple other color variants. And the stampers on this were first used on a box set. They made that, I believe, in 2017, 2018. I believe one of those 2 years. And this record was in it, which didn't get the best reviews. Same with this. This one, it's mixed. On Discogs, it's mixed. Now, Run Out Grooves. Oop, had it upside down. In 2022 released this. It's cut on 2 LPs, and then it also comes with another 2-disc set of demos and a live, which they're extras. But the main thing I'll focus on is the album core that comes with that. It's mainly you'd get this for. Now, there are other pressings. You do have the original vinyl that came out in 1992, and I'm guessing that is cut from digital. If it's from tape, I'd be amazed, and I would definitely seek it out if that was the case. But most of the time in 90s vinyl, it's from a DAT tape, a digital. It's not the analog tape, the master. And it's questionable, the quality, it varies. I've heard good things about the original 90s pressing from Europe, and I believe a US pressing as well exists. But I've never owned it. I haven't heard needle drops of it online. So I'm going by what people said online. It's fantastic. Some say it's not. It can be a mixed bag, but it's leaning more to positive on the original. Then you have but when it comes to 2LP, you do have music on vinyl's release. They did release it in a splatter, marble, red, like it's on the cover, and then a standard black. And both of them go for crazy amounts of money now. They released, because that was back in 2013. I hear it was Record Store Day release. And they haven't really made that since. They've done their other discography, their other albums in their discography. And I've found their others, minus Purple. I think it's Purple. Yeah, Purple and Core are the two you don't see much. I have Tiny Music, 4, and Shangri-La Di Da. I found that just recently, so you can get those other ones. I'm guessing they're still in print since you can easily find them for cheap, but they'll go up with music on vinyl stuff that's out of print. So, but I was trying to look for that. Even I would have loved to even borrow it off someone for a shootout to compare to this one, but from what I've heard, even this beats it out. So all that money, you can get this, plus you get a 2 LP set of extras as well. So now, starting with the 2020 pressing that's cut by Chris Bellman. The Chris Bellman cut, I'll just call it. And there's also the hype sticker I forgot to show you. 180 gram, woohoo. Doesn't mean anything. So, the Chris Bellman cut. The major issue, and this includes any other any other pressing of this that's on one LP, they shoved too long of an album on one disc. Like a lot of these songs, they're like this first track. First track is over 5 minutes long, and then one track's 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes. Where's the one on this one? Oh, that's a minute. That's an interlude. 6 minutes, over 3.5, 5. It can get to be a long album, and if I show you, you won't see it when you look at the vinyl itself. So you look. I'll just show you. I don't know how this comes out, but it doesn't look like it's shoved. They shoved too many songs on there. Unlike it, you can't do the same thing as when you see greatest hits compilations, any compilation for that matter, or albums where they really should have put it on 2 LPs where there was crammed. Like you can see the songs like this thick. Like the entire song might be just this thick. That means they just compressed it, cut it very soft, and it's just not going to be as good as the original recording would be. Now, pressing quality, this is made in Germany, and when you see that, Optimal. And I checked, Optimal did make this. They also did Purple, that Bob Ludwig cut on that one, which that one sounds fantastic. If they do a 2-disc, I'm going to get that, and that will, I think, beat it as well. Anyway, so the vinyl itself, quiet. Really thick. It's thick, 180 gram, whoop-de-doo, but it's not warped. Really, really done, quiet vinyl. And for this one, that vinyl needs to be quiet. No pops, no clicks, no nothing. Hisses, nothing. Because, and this isn't Chris Bellman's fault, I'm betting it's Warner Brothers and Atlantic telling them, we're cheaping out, it's going to be a 1 LP. Do what you can. That's what he did. He did what he could, and it's cut quiet. That's the first thing you'll notice. It is cut quiet. My amp, I have to crank the knob over halfway or a little over. I've never done that. Never had to do that with any other of my records other than maybe the certain soundtracks and scores where they're a little quiet. But even then, not even halfway. This one, I have to crank up over halfway just to have it sound good loud. And that's one of the great things about this album. You can crank it. When you crank it, it's a great album to have loud. But when you crank this up loud, the punch isn't there. The bite is teeny bit there, but not like just saying as the bass line is the CD. Like the CD. That still has bite. That has punch to it. It's great sounding. And I'm just using that as a guide. This, I don't know what source, but he cut it just too quiet and just backed off. I'm not sure if he EQ'd it. Sounds like he might have done that on this. And that's why it results in a lifeless, flat, blunt sounding album. Including what I and other people call that a bit of that audiophile polish. Just it polishes out the raw edge that the albums have. Like a perfect example, I think, is the Music on Vinyl reissue of Alice in Chains' Dirt. I had that. Bought it for $30. And that thing did not have, like this, just the same problems with this. Not much of a punch, no bite, no nothing, but it really had that audiophile polish. Even more than this. This one has a tiny bit, but Dirt, the Music on Vinyl version of Dirt, had more. And also they crammed too long of an album onto one disc like this. So, going into this, you gotta keep in mind that's what you're gonna get. Now, this is cheap, $40. All Australia here was $50, where I got it from. And this was before Runout Groove released their version. So if you want a cheap one, you're not too worried, then okay, but you're not getting what made the album fantastic to begin with. CD, it has a little bit of compression on it, but it still has what this doesn't have, at least. And the whole point of vinyl is for it to sound better than the CD. That's why you spend the money. And this really isn't worth it. Even the splatter version, it looks cool, but aren't you paying to listen to it? Cool. If you want to waste money and frame it, have it look cool, whatever. If you really love the album, do that. But this one, even on the cheap side, just save up. I don't recommend this at all. This, I recommend spending over, I think it was in America, it was $130. Here I paid $250 for this, where I got it from. This is what, if you love the album, save up, get this. The songs across 2LP. Like Music on Vinyl. They were the first ones to do it, so this isn't the first. Like I said before, they were the first ones to do it, and then Runout Groove is the second. But, from what people have said, they did it right, and much better. Now, you do get the extras, you get your demos, and then you get a concert, which is still in that same realm of when this album came out, so it's a good live recording. I wouldn't really play it much. There's better live recordings I'd rather play, but it's cool extras for the money you're spending. And at least it's good they threw that in, because this the same money you're spending to get all this. Oh, and it includes a poster of the cover of the album, which, woohoo. The same money you can spend on this, you can also get, for similar money, the Music on Vinyl one as well. But, again, which one would you buy for the similar amount of money? That, or this one, which people are saying, take it out of here, this is much better. Now, this, you could also even say this is a Music on Vinyl pressing, because this is pressed at Record Industry. The same pressing plant Music on Vinyl uses, and I think owns too. And I think Sony also has a bit of ownership in it as well. So this, technically, you could even say this is a Music on Vinyl pressing, but it just has a different label, and the lacquer was cut somewhere else. So, and you get the gatefold. So you also get a gatefold with it. Nice shiny plastic, which can fingerprint, but you can use it to clean it off. Unlike this, you don't even get the gatefold, you get nothing, just the record. That's it. That's what happens if you want to get the cheap bare bones one. But this one, they gave you all this extra. You got all the lyrics on here. Now you got some cool pictures and all really well done. And the album itself, I'll just pull out one of them. Like, it's polyline paper inner sleeves, which is one of the things that's good that the Chris Bellman one has as well. So I'll give it that too, because they could have just given you paper. But this, here, and if I can show you, spread across. You can just tell that it's spread across. There's plenty of room, except I know on this one there is a lot of dead wax in between here. Like, there's a good amount. They could have, I think, spaced it out a little more there. Maybe they did and it was cut too hard, or who knows. But anyway, this has everything. It has the punch, the bite, the life into it. And it does have that, a little bit of that compression, but it's that good compression you want, not the brick wall peak and like Death Magnetic Californication style compression. This is the album you can crank up. You don't have to, it's not halfway or anything. You don't even have to crank it much to get really good volume. And when you crank it up loud, it's fine on your ears and you really get into it. It's got a great stereo. It's also got I think a better stereo image. Like, I think on the song, I think it was Cracker Man where he's got that echo on the megaphone that comes right at you on the left channel. Really good and really nice. The Chris Bellman one, it's there, but it's like just in the background. When on even the CD, that's just, again, using it as a guide, that comes out at you, out of nowhere. And it just sounds amazing. So I don't know how long these are going to be in print for, but get it while you can. There's a bunch on Discogs for various prices, but they're not too insane. So you can still obtain it. I think as the years go by, and there's not many for sale, this might go for a lot more. Cram it in that. I'll just quickly show you the live. Yeah. And the poster. There's some cool stuff there. And the discs are just and the Atlantic logo. But yeah, you get some cool extras. So I'd recommend, if you want this album to sound good, just pick this up. You won't be disappointed. If you love this album, if you like it enough where you're fine with this, again, okay, but you're not getting, I think, the best sound. Now, I'd love to hear I've heard what people have said about this compared to the music on vinyl, and they say this has got more of a punch with the drums. But I haven't heard too many people comparing this to the music on vinyl release, so I'd be interested, but again, why go with that now when you can get this? And in most cases, this is what I'm hearing, more positive and it's superior. So I definitely recommend getting it. So that means this one I'm going to chuck up for sale and someone can have it. So someone else can have it and be happy. That's going to go out of my collection. After I've done this video, that's going to go up to be sold. because I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play it anymore. So comment down below. Tell me what you think. Your good pressing is. Maybe you've compared the Bellman, the Chris Bellman, to your original pressing that you got, or you compared this to, because they've been South Korean, South Korean and Brazil. There's all these other official pressings from the 90s. You maybe compare those. Drop down below what you've heard of the best pressings of your own shootouts. And like, comment, subscribe, and of course, buy this one. Again, I'm just going to keep saying it. Buy this one. That's where you could sum this video up. Buy that run out groove pressing, and I'm now curious of the other stuff they've done. I know they did Superfly, which I'm thinking about getting that, but we'll see. So, hey, as always, keep spinning that vinyl, and we'll see you in the next video.